I am Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of the Eastern Han Dynasty. However, I am also one of the most notorious and infamous figures in Chinese history. At that time, I unified China after defeating other countries. However, as the leader of the country, committed many reprehensible actions. Among my crimes, perhaps the worst, was building the Forbidden City to conceal the truth about my life. Throughout my life, I engaged in many brutal activities, such as suppressing political opponents, oppressing the people, and especially implementing the brain-dumping policy. This policy was designed to eliminate intelligent and potential opponents. Those who were assessed as intelligent or suspicious gestures to my government were executed and expelled from the country. In addition, I had a habit of assassinating those whom I considered my political opponents. There is very little information stored about the number of people who died at my hands, but it is believed to be around 460. I also fell in love with a young girl in the imperial court, known as Lady Wan. I forced Lady Wan to marry me, and when she refused, I resorted to violence to force her to comply. Finally, I passed away into 10 BC, and the Eastern Han Dynasty collapsed after my son, Qin Shi, could not control the country. However, my crimes still remain and tarnish my reputation in Chinese history. I am also famous for another thing, which is the construction of the Chong'an Wall, known as the Great Wall of Chongthan. To build this project, I forced millions of laborers to work in harsh conditions without rest. Many people died during the construction due to overwork and other risks. Furthermore, I am known for the three-tail policy, a heavy tax policy imposed on the people. Each family had to pay 3 taels to buy a pig. If they didn't have enough money, families were forced to pay with rice, or even their children as collateral. Those who could not comply with this policy, I also destroyed historical landmarks to avoid uprisings and forced religions to worship me as a deity. I migrated Han Chinese from the south to Beijing to control and monitor the people. All of these cruel and outrageous actions have made my name a symbol of cruelty in Chinese history. To this day, the crimes I committed are still a topic of debate and controversy in Chinese society. Apart from the aforementioned crimes, I can also be remembered for forcing the people to use commemorative currency, featuring my image and the achievements of the Qin Dynasty. Those who refused to use this currency or did not have enough money to buy it were beaten or executed. My military policies were also extremely brutal. I built a massive army consisting of millions of soldiers and combat vehicles. These soldiers were trained to kill ruthlessly and without mercy. Rebels or those who did not comply with my policies were brutally suppressed, even to the point of being hanged. I also implemented a policy of annexation to control the remaining kingdoms in China. The people in these kingdoms were forcibly relocated to other parts of the country and forced to comply with my policies. All of these crimes and cruel actions have made my reputation infamous in Chinese history. Even today, I am known as one of the most ruthless representatives of the Chinese government, someone who has caused great harm to the country and its people. I also had a special policy known as the disguise policy. Under this policy, I required officials in the court to change their identities and use fake names to avoid being monitored and prevent confrontational plans. Those who did not comply with this policy were exiled to remote areas or killed. In addition, I imposed many harsh economic strategies to increase income for the country and serve my purposes. Industries and agriculture were forced to produce a large amount of goods and pay high taxes to meet the needs of the court and the military. My cruel and ruthless actions led to protests and uprisings from dissatisfied citizens. However, I always found ways to suppress these rebellions by using my military and using coercive measures.